Outstanding, the ultimate accolade for teachers. We challenge reception teacher Rachel Atkins to go from good to outstanding. A top inspector observes one lesson. 2 experts will fine-tune her practice and improve her presentation. She also gets comments and advice from teachers across the country who've seen her lesson on the web. Rachel then has 3 weeks to put all the advice into action before the inspector comes back for the final verdict.
It's interesting to see how many things have actually come out that people are repeating. So it shows clearly that there's something that needs to be changed.
Tyson Community School is a 2-form entry primary in North London. Rachel Atkins is in her 2nd year of teaching.
Teaching in early years, I feel like I'm very active. You can run around, you can go outside, you can teach indoors and outdoors. It just gives you a lot more scope for teaching.
Right, are we all listening? How do we play Duck Duck Goose?
The school rates her teaching as good.
She has a real passion for early years. You can see it in the way that she's with the children, her manner. And she's just a very active, fun person to be with, and the children love her.
Right, can everyone wave their hands in the air?
Rachel will focus the challenge of getting to outstanding with her reception class.
Blue class is very lively, talkative. I just like the fact that the children find everything so new and exciting.
Yuvi! Wow! How did you make that?
She makes me laugh. I really like Rachel. Rachel's so nice. And pretty.
Whole ethos really is for the children learning to be me, and we try not to dictate to them what to do.
We try and plan with their needs in mind as much as possible, but during the day they may decide that they want to do something completely different, so sometimes we have to abandon that and go with what they want to do, which can be quite challenging at times.
The challenges for Rachel now are to look at sustained shared thinking, look at how she can really extend the children through her questioning and challenge them.
Do you want to run to the gate? Go, 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 go!
I just like to just be an excellent teacher.
It's the morning of Rachel's first observation. With hundreds of inspections under her belt, School Inspector Claire Gillies leads teams up and down the country. She certainly knows an outstanding lesson when she sees one.
Now, this morning, do you remember yesterday I told you that maybe we'd be making some telescopes? Yeah.
Rachel has the morning session to impress our inspector.
Who remembers the story? Shark in the park. Very good. Now, this morning, I'm going to be making some telescopes over on this table with the monkeys. And on the maths table today, we have some strawberries. You can count them, you can add them together, see how many are in the different baskets. And on the back table, we've got the hammer and pins, because I know how much you all enjoyed it yesterday. 'We've got a telescope here, and there are different ways that we can look into different things. I've got some binoculars that maybe you can have a look. And we've got some magnifying glasses. You can have a look at that one. We're going to make our own telescopes now. One for Bushra, one for Yusuf.
I want the pink one. Hello, everybody.
Do you want some help with that one? Should we try this one again?
This is a clever way of making the holes.
Yes.
This is, yes, Alamin wanted orange, so we're doing orange.
And yellow.
And yours is yellow. So I'm trying to do 3 at once. There we go. 1 yellow. Is that okay?
Let's make them.
Wow, perfect fit.
My one's done.
me just do this one. So that says I can make my own shark in the park telescope. Do you have one? Timothy Pope is looking through his telescope. Everyone get their telescopes ready. We're going to look up at the sky. We're going to look down at the ground. We're going to look left and right and all around. Very good. And this is what he sees. What a nasty surprise. In his loudest voice, Timothy cries. What does he cry?
There's a shark in the park! There's a shark in the park!
Who can tell me what happened at the beginning of the story? Amrita.
Up and down, left and right and all around.
Well done. And you remembered all the words. Fantastic, Amrita. Jessica, do you remember something that happened in the middle of the story? We saw a cat in the middle. Well done, Jessica. What happened at the end? Bushra.
The shark and the dad and a Timothy.
Well done. You remembered all the characters. We're all going to stand up now. If you'd like to go and get some water, you can go and get some. Make a line, or you can go and choose something to do. Okay, let's choose. Which one would you like? We have runner bean. We have a courgette.
Oh, this one.
What's that one? Oh, sunflower. Should we plant a sunflower?
Yeah.
Now you're going to press it really firmly into the soil. Where do you want to put it? Do you think that's going to be good? Should we push it down? What do you think they might need?
Mushrooms. Water.
They need water. Well done.
What's the water?
Maybe not too much water. If you put too much on it, then it might drown. Do you think we need anything else to help it grow?
It needs more water.
What can you see in the sky today that's really, really bright?
A sun.
Well done, Aaron. The sun. That's what we need. We need the sun to help our seeds grow as well.
So how did Rachel get on?
Well, Rachel, I certainly enjoyed my morning a great deal with you and the reception class. You have a very calm rapport with them, with nice ways to get them all to concentrate and listen to you when you want. So coming to this morning, what were the big things you hoped they'd have moved forward on by the end of the session?
I wanted them to actually make the telescope themselves without support, which was obviously the main.
So that was the key.
That was the physical.
Yes.
But then obviously the telescopes could link to knowledge and understanding of the world, and how we wanted to get a real telescope in.
Now, the telescope came in today for the first time, was it?
Yes.
None of them actually looked through it that I
They
saw.
didn't know.
And that to me was I was just so, because when I was asking some of them, you know, why do we use telescopes, what are they for? I don't think many of them have got much concept. Then there's just to reflect on what you'd set up for the other tables. It's a question of what is the purpose, what is the meaning that you hope might come out of some time spent there. That's just a thought.
Yeah.
And then we had the sort of session sitting round the square, and there was some lovely miming, some lovely talking. But again, I think occasionally you could have asked another question. Try to extend as much as you possibly can. And if I leap from there up to the wonderful sensory garden, I think again we could have done with some more extending questions. So there are certainly some really good features there for you to build on. And thank you very much indeed for letting me share the morning.
It was fantastic. Thanks for coming.
With the first observation over, the inspector highlighted Rachel's need to make the planned activities link more strongly to clear learning objectives and to increase the level of challenge for the children. It's time to bring on the experts. To boost Rachel's progress, help comes from early years consultant Hilary Bell and presentation and communications coach Mo Shapiro. They start by watching Rachel's lesson.
Do you remember yesterday I told you that maybe we'd be making some telescopes?
You know, she has a lovely relationship with the children, and she's really calm and patient with them.
I'm going to be making some telescopes over on this table.
What I'm going to be looking at is increasing some variety in her voice and body language.
I'm going to be looking at increasing the level of challenge and ensuring that the children have a lot more choice. Well, hello, Rachel. I've watched your session, looking to see how we can perhaps just raise the stakes a little. So we're going to look first at the focus activity, which was making telescopes. Yeah. It was such a shame the children didn't actually really
use them.
And I thought maybe if you did it again, you might like to think about having one session where they just look through the telescope. You have that whole discussion about their purpose, where they're used, how they're used, who uses them, all of that. And then maybe the following day or the next week, they could have made a telescope.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because then they would have come to that practical activity with a much broader knowledge base. So then the actual making of them, you actually showed them how to make a telescope. And then they all made it. Now, what I could see from your classroom indicated that actually the children did have access to all the resources. So it would have been feasible for them to have decided whether they wanted paper, what colour they wanted, whether they wanted things like treasury tags or split pins. You know, so you would have had that element of challenge. Try to inject more challenge into the activities that you provide for the children. You had seed packets, but it was kind of random, wasn't it? You know,
it was, yeah.
Do you want to run a bean, do you want a sunflower, you know? And I was left thinking, I wonder actually if those children have any idea what a sunflower looks like. I wonder, do they know what a runner bean is? So you could have talked to them about colour, the texture, all of that. Again, it's the language, isn't it? You know, so important. I've got some labels here. So maybe the name of the plant on one side and the child's name on the other side. So they've got that ownership, haven't they?
And then they'd know where they were because the seeds went in and then no one could find them.
Precisely. Also, a range of books. You know, again, non-fiction books as well as fiction books about flowers and plants and vegetables, so that the children can see what they're planting will look like eventually. You know, I think it's about using all the opportunities you can to actually enrich their vocabulary.
We could look at this. This is just a little checklist, thinking about body language and voice. And we've got numbers 1 to 5 here. And if you just mark for each of these where you think you were in that lesson.
Breathing, maybe put it there.
Okay.
Enthusiasm.
I mean, I think you have lots of enthusiasm. It just doesn't always shine through.
Volume, probably about there.
Yeah, and I think you're good at varying the volume.
Variety.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's interesting. There's something there, isn't there, that we could really work on and get some more variety.
I'm going to be making some telescopes over on this table with the monkeys.
I noticed that you're really good with your volume. You change your volume. Sometimes you speak loudly, sometimes you whisper very quietly. But what I think would be really good would be to get some more light and dark, different colours into your voice. So I'm going to ask you in a minute to recite Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I'd like you to do it as though you're actually quite sad.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.